All right, you freedom-loving boys and girls, welcome to the morning mimosa show with Mark and John. Yes, cheers. Hey, this is kind of we're kind of having fun, and we like this. So, John's been on before. He'll introduce himself or tell you a little bit about himself in a second. But John's been so great to help do some of these loadout videos. And what we're both finding is like these really early Friday or Saturday mornings just kind of work best in our schedule. So, we get to sit and have a cup of coffee and, shoot the shit. And hopefully you guys enjoy these videos. And what we're going to do here, and then I'll introduce John. But what we're going to do is we're sitting down. We're going to shoot 3 videos. I'll post them at different times, but we're going to look at the G3 and the Mother, how they can be worn, how they can be combined. And then we'll do some and then John obviously is going to share, in 2 different videos, like all the gadgets and gizmos and stuff he's got, squirreled away inside of his clown car stuff. John, everybody probably recognizes you, but come on, man, just give us a little shout out. Tell us everybody a little bit about yourself.
What's up, gang? Thanks for watching. For those that don't know me, I'm a former jarhead, hunter, fisher, outdoorsman, camping, backpacking. I got 2 boys, 14 and 12, and my life revolves around them and my wife and all the things that we got in our schedule. Busy, busy, busy.
And he has his superpower is getting 10 pounds in that proverbial 5-pound bag. So that's what we're going to do. All right. And so we're trying to keep these into short, informative videos. So we're going to jump right into it. So in this first one, we're just going to start like from the big picture and work our way down. So we're just going to go over a couple different ways that you can carry the Mother and the G3 if you want to combine them together. So why don't we start with John, and then I'll kind of just interject as we're going.
All right. So the intent of this kit, this is my day hiking ultra light kit, I would say. I don't remember what it weighs dry, but it was like, I think it was under 9 pounds. So how I'm carrying this is I have a padded strap wrap. I have a belt pouch on that strap wrap for my med kit, little accessories and stuff like that. G3, I'm rocking I guess you'd call a 10 C's kit out of both of these. So I'm literally carrying this, crossbody like this when I'm hiking. Okay. My son was wearing this last. He likes it way up high in his armpit. I like it down by my belt. So it'll be a little bit longer when I do that. But yeah, so that's how I'm rolling with that. And you guys have seen videos in the past where I got this mounted on a ruck. I've even had it on my Sherpa belt and all that kind of stuff. This is the first G3, the first Mother that I bought a couple years ago. So it's only used in the summer. It's all about being lightweight and more breathability.
Okay, but let's go back. How have you attached your G3 to the bottom of that?
That I'm using the docking straps. So you can see that docking strap is going through the bottom of the molly on the bottom.
Yep. And that's what I wanted to highlight to everybody. And I'm going to show another configuration for that is the bottom of the Mother has attachment points, loops where you can, John just called them docking straps. So the G3, because we assume that you're going to want to mount it to something. So we throw docking straps in there. But if you mount it a different way, you could use those docking straps to roll up a tarp, a jacket, and you could mount those on the bottom of the Mother. And that goes the same for the Mod Deuce or the original Mother to do it. And so you've just got the docking straps and nothing else secured on the G3, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so I'm just going to show off just 2 little different options here for people. So John's got everything mounted together, worn over one shoulder. If you got a shoulder strap, and looking just if you told me what you were doing, you can easily through the webbing on the whatever version gear roll you have, we've got these retention loops. That's where you roll it up and hold it tight. Well, you can just undo some of the webbing and then you can just run a male or a female buckle. Well, I would do a female because the shoulder strap has male, but you can just get that and get that static in there. And now it's stuck. And then you can attach it to a shoulder strap. And now you could have the G3 over one shoulder, the Mother over the other shoulder. You would have 2 straps going over your shoulders, like one here and then one in this direction. But that's not that big of a deal, and then now you could do your weight just a little differently. And then one other little point On the G3, you know, there's Molly on the backside. It's not a ton because there's not a lot of surface area, but it's more than enough. I got to take the shoulder strap off here real quickly. Just bear with me, folks. But it's more than enough to attach to the bottom of your Mother Canteen Carrier, and that's actually how I do mine. So this strap portion goes up to the bottom of the Mother, and it connects, and it's all like that. And then just another little trick, so you can see, here's the drag handle right here in the front of the Mother, or correction, the G3, and then here's the Mother. You know, it'd be mounted like this. So what I would just do here, and I know talking ain't doing, but I'm not going to pull the whole thing apart. But if I undo the bikini strap, lengthen up this retention piece right here, slide that. So as I was mounting the G3, so again, the Molly would go through the bottom of the Mother, but then I take that strap, I run it up and under the docking or that drag handle, and then I can connect it, you know, to the bikini strap, tighten it down. And you kind of get the point now. This isn't mollied, you know, the Molly isn't on, but it just gives you one more little way to really get it tight, you know, because it depends on what you have inside of your gear roll. But now you can really tighten it down, and it just, now you've got 3 forms of attachment, you know, from between the Mother and the G3. So just a little trick right there. All I did is I took my bikini strap, ran it through the drag handle, and then attached it. And then, you know, in reality, then I would be fixing that on the backside right there. And then that would help hold it in place a little bit better.
I like that.
Yeah, just a little trick right there. But, you know, if you really kind of consider that, you know, the amount of gear you can put in a G3, and we're going to see in a couple minutes what what surprises he has in store for us today. And the Mother, and then to, you know, John's point, that's an incredible minimalist kit right there. I mean, that's a lot of gear. You really, you know, if you can't survive, you know, long enough, you know, to maybe get rescued or whatever for that amount of gear over the shoulder. You know, so if you're thinking about moving fast, bugging out, you know, however you're looking at it, or just even like, hey, I'm going to go fly fishing, or I'm taking a 10-mile out and back hike, but, you know, I'm in, you know, high altitude or whatever the environmental considerations are, you might want to make sure you're going out there with a little bit more gear, or you're going out in that walk and you're trying to impress somebody, you know, some significant other. I mean, that's a lot of food. That's like, you could have a tarp set out, you know, so, you know, because she doesn't want to sit in the dirt. And, you know, there's a lot of things you can do with just those 2 pieces of gear, and they combine with each other pretty nicely. I mean, and John, I've seen pictures of your kids wearing that stuff. So if you're wondering about that, like, oh, that seems like a lot of gear, only adult could do it, I kind of wanted to bring that back over to John for that kind of final comment.
Oh, yeah. My kids, and we'll get into it when I load it out, because this is loadout specific for day hiking in the summer with the kids. So there's a couple things they're carrying that I'm not. But yeah, so I usually carry this, and then they're carrying their Scout bottle carriers with a bunch of gear on it and stuff like that. So right on.
Okay, well, what do you think? Should we just end that right there? Just, I mean,
yeah,
short video.
Get in the loadout.
Yeah, and then we'll get into the loadout stuff. All right, everybody. Well, hey, so what it's Memorial weekend. I'm not going to post these videos this weekend. You know, because you guys should be all out enjoying things, enjoying your weekend, and, you know, raising a glass to our honored dead. It's Memorial weekend, not barbecue weekend. Go have fun, but please raise your glass. I hope when you see this, you look back and say, yeah, I took a moment of pause and I reflected on all the men and women who gave their lives so we could be here today. So,
hoorah.
Yeah. So, matter of fact, and here's to all those guys. Yeah. Here's to everybody. All right. We're going to end this one, and then we'll be back, and we're going to start doing the loadouts. All right, everybody. Thanks. We'll be right back. Woo!